Alright, we're live,
Crap.
John.
Oh crap! I didn't know we were live. I wasn't ready.
Just go.
The air though.
Okay. Introducing for the after. Fuck! I messed up the name. This is going to shit. You suck. I know.
We can't restart because it's live, so.
We're live, buddy. We're live, buddy.
Gentlemen, welcome to the Wrestlemania class of 2016.
Introducing first, we have Coco Beware Finch.
I'll be
Then we
Finch.
have Steve. Yep, that's him. Steve, please introduce.
Steiner.
And the announcer. That's it. That's my name. This is the announcer.
So should we call you by your real name or just an announcer?
Just the announcer. Just call me that. Just the announcer. And Owen, I was not ready for that. I was going down to get my drink of water.
Yeah, I know.
Fully ready for that, and you pressed
So
the live button.
This is the Retro Wrestling Review Series. We're here to give you another WrestleMania since we're now officially on the road to WrestleMania 32. And first, solo, I reviewed WrestleMania 1. I reviewed the first ever one, which made the most sense. And then me and James, the He-Man He-Bird, who you've met before, reviewed our opinion, the best one, which was 17.
Arguable.
But we did one of the best ones. One of the best.
I know.
Ones.
I know. I'm just saying that because I want to piss off the comment section.
Yeah.
The WrestleMania 17 is the worst WrestleMania of all time. Hate comments. No, I'm just kidding. It's one of the best. It's not the best.
Yeah. We did one of the
That's
best.
my.
James
Yeah,
wanted,
it's opinion.
It's James's favorite, so that's why we did it. So.
James will probably stab my freaking heart out, but yeah, it's. I'll say this: the one thing like that really ruins the show for me. But I know what I'm talking about. But I didn't get to. I was not on the show, but I didn't get to say this. The Austin heel turn.
Oh
That
yeah,
sucked.
we talked about that. Yeah. But anyhow, we did one of the best ones. So now we're doing one of the worst. This isn't the worst one, but it's one of the worst ones. WrestleMania 27. So we figured.
Wait, Steve has disappeared off this. Oh, there he is.
Yeah. So we're doing WrestleMania 27, and we have Steve here, who actually went to this show, so he's gonna have a different viewpoint because this kid goes to like every WrestleMania. So
a different viewpoint. I mean, I didn't hate the main event, but that's about the only difference.
okay. So let's talk about the show. I got my notes right here. So we're gonna talk about the dog match on the show.
All right. Amos versus Daniel Bryan.
Yep, and we had Josh Matthews and Matt Stryker on commentary, but I didn't really get to hear what they said because they were in Spanish for the video I was watching. So
well, I didn't get to hear them. Period. So
that must have been nice though.
Yeah.
But it was Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan for the U.S. title in a lumberjack match. Sheamus was going in as a champion. Now, when I do these reviews, I like to say why the match is happening. There isn't much of a reason for this match. The only reason.
I remember.
Pretty much.
If you want the back. Okay. Owen, can I speak for a second?
Yeah.
I know the backstory to this entire WrestleMania because I'm that kind of guy, and that kind of retains the memory of this entire WrestleMania.
I know the backstory too.
Yeah, I know, but I remember what happened with this particular one. What happened was Daniel Bryan lost the belt like 2 weeks earlier to Sheamus, and then they're just gonna do a rematch at WrestleMania. It probably would have been the opener. But for some reason, they wanted to make this match so hard at WrestleMania because it almost happened 3 times in 4 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
But this one, and I'm pissed that they got shafted off the show because with what they did put on the show, this would have been the match that could have opened the show because they had to open up the World Heavyweight title match because they didn't have a choice because that was the only match that could open the show at that point.
What do you mean, the World IC Championship?
Yep. So then, and then it's like It was Daniel Bryan's first WrestleMania, and he had Sheamus, who was in a big match the year before, and then he deraged to the dark match. It was kind of a joke. This match itself was a huge joke. So they have a match. They actually were having a bad match. They were having a decent match, and then Daniel Bryan. They had lumberjacks out there. The lumberjacks were. I gotta look them up. It was all the jobbers pretty much, except for like.
The Job Squad.
Hold on, I'll just look them up real quick. I don't say every single one of them. We can, and everyone will remember every single one of them. So the lumberjacks were Chavo Guerrero.
Jobber.
And he's in Lucha Underground now. He was face at this point too. Chris Masters, who they buried.
He's in GFW.
Kurt Hawkins.
GFW.
Yep. David Hart Smith, who went on to be a part of a tag team with Vance Archer.
He's in New Japan now. He's in Japan. By the way, Owen.
Yes.
Before you continue, I'm gonna put this up. Sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt you again. But I like pointing out who's still with the company at this point in the I like where the hell they are at the company.
Yeah, that's fine.
Sure.
I figured that's all the reason. That's why I bring up these guys. Drew McIntyre.
Yep.
Drew Galloway and
TNA
now. Evan Bourne, Matt Sydal.
Yep. RH.
Both Usos, Jimmy and Jay, still in the company, and they're actually like Johnny Curtis.
Oh jeez.
Fandango. I actually was like Johnny Curtis. Who the fuck is Johnny Curtis? Oh yeah.
Yep. JTG.
Yep.
He's out of the company. I don't know where he is now, but he's out of the company.
Yeah. Mark Henry.
Back to the streets.
Mark Henry. He's still in the company, so.
Not for long.
Primo.
Yeah, he's Los Matadores.
Yep. R-Truth.
Still in the company.
Ted DiBiase Jr.
He's in the business now. He's actually retired.
Yep. He said he might come back, but I doubt it.
I don't think so.
Trent Beretta. I know one thing. He went to TNA as like a weird name and didn't win the X Division title. That's the only thing I know about him.
He's not. I don't know where he is now.
Tyler Rex. He's retired.
Who the fuck is Tyler Rex?
Do you remember? He was in like a tag team for Kurt Hawkins for like a few years.
Yep, I remember now. He had a big.
And then one of the last things they did was they were like stripper like or something at the end.
Dancer. Yeah, they're a Chippendales dancer. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Tyson Kidd, who's injured, out doing injury right now.
Uh-huh.
William Regal, NXT general manager.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yoshi Tatsu.
Japan.
Yep. And Zack Ryder, who pretty much is a jobber right now.
Should be dead.
His career, I'm surprised he's still he's in a tag team with Mojo Rawley as the Hype Bros.
By the way, if Zack Ryder dies, he'll be in a higher position than he would have been in the company he is in right now.
Yep. So pretty much, yeah, Daniel Bryan goes to take out Sheamus with a flying knee off the top that he used to hit, but he accidentally takes out DiBiase. So then all the lumberjacks are start fighting with each other. So the match gets out of control. So Teddy Long comes in and just has all these guys wrestle in a battle royal. So pretty much they.
Surprise! No tag team match player?
No, hold on. If they're player.
The Undertaker.
I'm gonna have you go on into a tag match, 1-on-1, with the Undertaker.
I remember his dance he used to do. You can't see it, guys, but Steve just did his dance.
Anyone remember that time Undertaker kidnapped Teddy Long and like held him hostage in a coffin?
Yes.
Where to, Teddy?
And then
Teddy. Oh no.
And then he couldn't get.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh yeah!
And then he couldn't get out.
I remember thinking that like I thought he violated Teddy for a few weeks actually.
And then I remember he came out the next week.
Bill Cosby, Teddy Long.
Yep.
And then he came out the next week and he was all torn up and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I made a mistake.
So then, but then it gets turned into a battle royal, and everybody pretty much gets out really quickly.
Yeah.
Mark Henry eliminates Yoshitatsu with a world's strongest slam out of the ring. And eventually comes down to the 6 guys: Bryan, Sheamus, the Great Khali, who I didn't announce was there because there's a reason why he didn't. Ted DiBiase Jr., I think William Regal, and Drew McIntyre were the final 6 guys. And and everyone eliminated each other. Sheamus eliminated Bryan by a brogue kick off the ring. And then the Great Khali wins this battle royal for some reason instead of having Sheamus. It was weird.
Great Khali was Great Khali at the time, so they really were doing whatever. I mean,
yeah. So what did you guys think of this match? I bet John hasn't even seen this match.
I think I went to get a Coke during this match.
You took a what?
I think I went to get a Coke from the snack stand during this match.
How much were the Cokes?
Like $10, but it was in the souvenir cups, which actually
all right. I was gonna say like $10 for a small drink, like this big.
Go get my souvenir cup. I still have it.
What about you, John? What do you think?
Well, I didn't see it.
Good.
I only saw the main card, right? I don't watch the pre-show.
Okay.
I never watched the pre-show match ever for WrestleMania, except for the one at 24, which I just kind of spoiled which one I'm picking later. But the one at 24 is the only one I saw because I have it on DVD and it's in the bonus feature.
Alright. So then we get we get to the show itself. Now we have Michael Cole, Josh Matthews, and Jerry the King Lawler on the show. And the commentary on the show changes a lot. It probably changes more time than the United States Championship has the past month. So yeah. So we get the national anthem, and I don't remember who sang it, but it was somebody from Atlanta because that's where WrestleMania was.
Yeah.
And then
I remember who it was exactly, but it was something like that.
And
it was nice.
Then
The Rock comes out to cut a promo.
Yeah, that was oh man, when The Rock came out, bro, that arena lit up. I mean, it was still the first time for a lot of people to see him back. It was my first time seeing him back live because I had actually seen his last, real match because I don't really count that WrestleMania 20 thing with Evolution.
Oh, with Foley, week 2 with Foley.
Yeah, I had been there in where was it? Worcester for.
It was in Worcester, yeah. When he faced against Bill Goldberg.
Yeah, I was there for that match, and I remember.
Sorry. He faced off against Ryback.
No.
Wow.
Oh. No, but I remember being there, and so like this is my first time in years seeing him back. It was great to see him. The whole crowd was going nuts for him.
And he was the host. Because he had just returned like a month earlier because they were announcing the host of WrestleMania. Everybody was afraid it was going to be somebody that we didn't want to see, like Justin Bieber at the time or somebody else. But when there was The Rock, it was a huge surprise because nobody expected The Rock to come back because The Rock had a beef with Vince McMahon and Vince McMahon had a beef with him because The Rock didn't.
Vince McMahon.
And then The Rock came out and. Pretty much they were setting up a feud that we'll talk about later on in the show. And The Rock had come out, and he says that he's happy to be back at WrestleMania, and that this is going to be the most memorable WrestleMania of all time. Probably not for the reason The Rock thought it was going to be, though.
Actually, no. I think he knew it was going to be garbage because he saw what's the number one problem with. Well, I think we'll do the general consensus at the end when we talk about why this WrestleMania is considered to be one of the worst.
Yep. But then anyhow, and then he says he has the crowds do some chants like when I say yo, you say dabba dabba, and stuff like that. And then he says and then he has everyone do if you smell what The Rock is cooking chant. And then that was it. I like the promo, though. It was a good way to open the show. Seeing The Rock out there again. And it was good. So good promo. What did you guys think? I mean, Steve, you kind of gave your opinions on it, so.
It was great to just see The Rock there. That's
Yeah.
it.
What about you, Steve? What about you, John?
I would have rather it opened up with a match than having The Rock come out and kind of, because in my mind they just told The Rock, we're gonna be about a half hour short. Can you like go out there and fill some time? I
What?
I think that's
It was the
like
first time he had been back in so long, though. You got to remember. So
I
Yeah.
know, but like I'm just saying like that's what, because The Rock was gonna come out later on in the show anyway.
true.
So
And
it's
then
gonna
they,
be
and then they
it's gonna,
could have done Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan in the opener instead of the Rock segment, if you will. Okay.
exactly. So, but I'm not holding back any punches. I'm gonna give this WrestleMania the review it deserves. So I never have to talk about it ever again, unless I'm doing a top 10 worst list.
But then it's also like a video package of all the matches that are gonna happen at WrestleMania, which we're gonna talk about them. Then we get the first match on the show. We get Edge defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Alberto Del Rio, and Alberto Del Rio had Ricardo Rodriguez, who was his personal win announcer, and Brodus Clay because he was like his NXT rookie, but then that season of NXT ended, so he hired him as like a bodyguard.
By the way, that went nowhere.
Yeah, I didn't go anywhere.
That
And then
went absolutely nowhere.
and then Edge had Christian ringside, so I'll talk about why the match was happening. So Del Rio had won the largest Royal Rumble match in
That
WWE
was
history.
I did go to that Royal Rumble, and
I saw that, yeah.
It sucked.
For the record, I was pissed Santino didn't win. I was at that point was like, you know what? Screw it. Let's have Santino win. You know, why
I love
not?
Santino. I love Santino. All right. I love
But
Santino.
it didn't happen.
Yep. So I'm watching this match, and
Well, there's more. There's more.
I know.
So then Del Rio got to pick, because if you win the Rumble, you get to pick your opponent, which belt you want to fight for, because they had two belts then. And Del Rio chose Edge for the World Heavyweight title, because they never chose the WWE title. Very rarely. They always chose the World Heavyweight title.
The title was too important for that shit.
So then Edge had said, that this was Del Rio was going to choke under the pressure because he had never main evented a WrestleMania, which he didn't this year either. He was the opener, which kind of took away the whole purpose of the build-up.
And Del Rio's response was, "No, you don't understand, Pero. I'm going to do it because it is my destiny."
I used to hate it when you say that. And the reason Christian was out there because Del Rio months prior, before he won the Rumble, took out Christian, so they just threw Christian in there, which I kind of wish they would have thrown Christian in the match, but whatever.
Okay.
And then Del Rio had laid out Edge a bunch of times, and this was him. Edge was starting to feel his injuries. But you didn't know it at the time, but he definitely says it because that's why he had to have his arm taped up.
Yeah.
And they also they added this last minute saying that you didn't hear this on commentary, Steve, but saying that Edge had never retained the World Heavyweight title at WrestleMania, so this was an important match for Edge as well.
Well, I knew that going in because I always look up a bunch of stats before I go to a show usually.
Okay. Everyone, I think I had known that going in myself. So then, you can talk about the match itself, and then we'll all give our opinions on it.
Okay. So the main problem with this match is it was very slow-paced.
Yep.
And it was kind of dull, I think, because I don't think people were really believed in Del Rio winning the match, because I think they pushed him way too soon at that point.
I agree.
Edge was feeling his injuries and he was very slow. He was not really hitting that much. And I think it kind of took the crowd out of the show. It started to let the air out a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll let Steve talk about that later, but man, this was like it. This is at this point the world title didn't mean anything to me at that point.
I think definitely when it opened the show, it definitely didn't mean nothing.
It wasn't the final nail in the coffin. That came the next year. That
Yeah.
was the final nail in the coffin.
But this kind of made it feel like the World Heavyweight Championship wasn't as important. And then
This, in my opinion, it's one of the worst World Heavyweight Champ in terms of the history of that particular belt. It's one of the worst World Heavyweight title matches ever WrestleMania.
yep. And then you have the match itself it isn't too bad though. I just think it just wasn't the right match to open the show. And I think the only reason why people like it now, and if it's my female myself, because it's Edge's last match, so it has that significance to it now.
Yeah, I'm off on that in a little bit.
And then Del Rio really his wrestling moves was more of a defense moveset than it was an offense moveset. If that makes sense, because he always wrestled defense. And then Del Rio took apart Edge's arm. So then Edge hits the dive, which was really cool, because you never see Edge do that type of stuff ever. And then Del Rio hit an arm drag off the top. Del Rio went to cover Edge after hitting a move on him, and then Ricardo took his foot off the rope, so Christian goes to chase Ricardo, but then he gets taken out by Del Rio because he drop kicks him through the ropes, and then Brodus Clay tosses him into the barricade, and then Edge hit the execution, and then he hit the educator, but Del Rio was able to kick out and get out of the move.
Yeah.
And then Edge went for the spear, Del Rio moved out of the way, Brodus Clay takes a cheap shot, Del Rio gets him with the cross arm breaker, and Edge is able to fight out of it, and eventually, when Edge had him in the educator, because he turns it into the educator, Christian takes out Brodus Clay with the DDT off the apron, and then Edge beats Del Rio with a spear and retains the title. Wasn't really the most exciting match. It probably was more Del Rio, obviously, because I don't think he was ready to be in that spot just yet. And then you have Edge, who was just feeling his injuries. And then afterwards, Del Rio used to drive his cars out there, but they don't do that anymore. And Christian and Edge just smashed his cars with a crowbar and a tire iron, they said.
Yeah.
And Del Rio just watches this because they threatened to hit him if he goes up there, and then they walk out and Del Rio's crying about it. So then that was it. Like I said, the only reason this match is special is because it's Edge's last match. So I always had a problem that Del Rio didn't win, but it is it. But I think if they knew it was going to be Edge's match ahead of time, he definitely would have probably not have won. And Del Rio just wasn't ready to be world champion at the time. So, what do you think, Steve?
I thought the match did its job. It was an okay opening match. I mean, I agree. You know, it wasn't nothing big, shiny, or glamorous, but the feeling of the crowd was a bit different than this is gonna demoralize the title. It was more of a oh wow, that's cool. They're gonna open up right with a bang. That was kind of the feeling of the crowd. It was like, hey, we're getting this match now. That's awesome. But no, the match only became good the following night on Raw when Edge said, yeah, that was it.
Yep. I think it wasn't the following night, it was like the following week, though.
No, it was the following night on Raw. He said that was it.
Oh, yeah, it was. Todd, you already gave your prediction, what you thought of it, really, so...
I gave my prediction to the pay-per-view that happened 5 years ago.
Yeah.
All right.
I messed up. The next thing that happens is we get Cody Rhodes versus Rey Mysterio. The reason this match was happening was because they had a match before on SmackDown, and Cody Rhodes exposed Rey Mysterio's knee brace. And at the time, Cody Rhodes was playing the gimmick where he was dashing because he was voted most dashing superstar, so they turned it into a gimmick. And Rey Mysterio hit a 619 with the knee brace, which broke Cody Rhodes' nose. So he thought he was ugly. He didn't want to show his face, so he had to get surgery for it. And Cody Rhodes wanted to get revenge on Rey Mysterio. And Rey Mysterio just thought, he didn't do it intentionally, and he was just laughing about it. So then he returned and him and Dusty Rhodes pretty much baited Mysterio, and Cody Rhodes attacked him. And then the one thing that does happen is during a match, with Mysterio, Cody Rhodes attacked him again, and to really kind of add the storyline, Cody Rhodes attacks him with his knee brace, which was really awesome. And Cody Rhodes had started using this as a weapon because technically he could because it was part of his face. And I really liked the Cody Rhodes character at the time. I definitely think it made Cody Rhodes, I can't really say a star because he's not a star now, but it definitely elevated him.
No. Owen, he is a star.
You could, I get the joke. If no one gets, I don't think we should go into that to see if anyone gets the joke.
Right.
But anyhow,
Right, Owen, I got an announcement to make, right? So right now we are doing the first ever Destiny live stream during the Massasoit Wrestling Corner.
what's a retro wrestling review? Yeah, but I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Well, the Retro Wrestling Corner. Yeah, right now I'm online with my buddy Mark, who's actually John. This is the guy who I took the belt from you so I can give it back to him tomorrow. Oh yeah, Mark, you're getting the belt back tomorrow.
That's awesome. Uh-oh.
So
You will
Wait,
never
John,
see my face.
I think
that was
John's a little
that, that's what Cody Rhodes' gimmick was. I loved his gimmick. I thought it worked for him. I think they could have done more creative things with it.
Yeah.
They definitely ended it too soon.
Yeah,
But I love the gimmick.
Iron Banner.
And then Rey Mysterio comes out with the Captain America attire, and they called him Captain Mysterio on commentary.
Actually did some
So
Iron Banner. I only did one match. We lost. But yeah.
All right.
But then, yeah, he comes out to the Captain Mysterio attire, and this was a good match. Probably definitely one of the best matches of the night.
You're the fire team leader, so you gotta take us in.
And then, sorry, he's doing two things at once, so it confused me.
All right,
But
so
anyhow,
talking with you and doing WrestleMania 27 review at the same time.
so Rey Mysterio and Cody Rhodes just go at it. Cody Rhodes continuously uses the mask as a weapon. He headbutts him. He has like a diving headbutt with it. And he hits the disaster kick, which, while Mysterio is tied up in the ropes. And Cody Rhodes just systematically destroys Rey Mysterio in this match. He hits an Alabama slam. He holds him up in a superplex position for a while, and then which was a decent show of strength. And superplexes him off the top. Rey Mysterio takes him out with a dive. He hits a head scissors into the apron, and then Rey Mysterio and Cody Rhodes
boosted up a crap ton.
continuously tries to expose the knee brace of Rey Mysterio, which was kind of his.
275, but I got that, a new Titan Mark, new armor. I'm doing a lot. Good.
And then Rey Mysterio hits a moonsault in this match, nearly beats him, but he doesn't get the pinfall. Rey Mysterio hits the 619, goes to hit the splash afterwards, but Cody Rhodes gets his knees up, but he catches him. And then eventually Cody Rhodes exposes the knee brace, and then Rey Mysterio takes off Cody Rhodes' face mask, and he just walks up.
My psych teacher today.
And then Rey Mysterio puts the face mask on. He starts using it as a weapon. He headbutts Cody Rhodes with it. He hits a springboard headbutt into the chest. And then eventually he goes for a 619, and then Cody Rhodes grabs the knee brace, hits Rey Mysterio off the head with it, which I thought made total sense because that's what started the feud to begin with. And then
other weapons with it.
Cody Rhodes hits the Crossroads for the win, and it was really cool. It was a really big victory for Cody Rhodes. I like how he didn't show his face afterwards, and it was it was unexpected. I didn't think Cody Rhodes.
Eye in the middle of it.
I didn't think.
Words.
Wait, are you talking about the match now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Cody Rhodes having like a black eye after it too, but yeah, he didn't show his face. What did you guys think of the match?
It was
It's a
basically
rumor.
it's a match that I expect to see on Raw.
Okay.
Oh yeah, second. It's basically what it was. It was a Raw match. It was a Raw match. Can't breathe in this damn thing. That's why I took it off.
All right, but that's understandable. What did you think, Steve? What did you think of the match?
I thought that the match itself was pretty decent. I liked the entrances. They were just the best part of that thing. Cody's Titantron was epic to watch. Rey Mysterio's Captain America gimmick was great. I thought it was a lot of back and forth action. I thought it was good storytelling. Had a decent conclusion. Maybe this should have opened the show.
Yeah, I would have agreed with that. And then Cody Rhodes winning was a great moment for Cody Rhodes too. Really
Yeah.
elevate him in that time period. And then the next match, actually it's not a match.
Not all of it.
See, they cut. So we have Snoop Dogg backstage. You guys probably don't even remember this. It happened so long ago.
Yeah.
Snoop Doggy Dogg.
I did the daily.
So pretty much he's trying to find someone to tour with him. So he has auditions for it. He's doing it with Teddy Long.
Okay, let's do it.
Who does it first? I forget.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Trying to remember who does it.
Yeah, I'm not
Oh,
gonna
William
do
Regal
that.
gets up and raps. I thought he did a pretty good job.
Yet until I actually get the mission.
And then we had the Great Khali and Beth Phoenix was did perform their song. Zack Ryder saying that Friday song. If you guys remember that, it's Friday, Friday. If you guys remember that. And then
Yeah, I actually checked. I gotta get
Piper,
the taken.
Roddy Piper comes up and hits him in the back of the head with a coconut, which it was cool to see Piper there.
Yeah, I haven't even seen what Final Works looks like.
And then what else? After Piper, and then afterwards Hornswoggle.
They were really big fight.
And then Hornswoggle was supposed to come up and rap, but they say that Hornswoggle can't talk, so they don't have him rap. And then he comes up with the Bella Twins and starts rapping. So this was all a joke.
I get what you're
It was a
saying.
waste of. It was just a time. It was a waste of time and a time filler.
Just-
So.
You can just say that. It's a waste of time. Move on. Next segment.
Yep. And speaking of another waste of time match, we get the Core versus Big Show, Kane, Santina Marella, and Kofi Kingston.
Okay, I got a story about this match actually.
Should I go into the
I got started with
backstory?
this match too.
Should I go into the backstory and then I'll talk? Then you can tell your stories.
Well, I don't think we really need to go into the backstory of this whole thing. It's just that the Corps was formed, and they needed a face group to go in, so they just put together the Big Show, Santino Marella, Vladimir Kozlov, and the Kane. And then they put them on WrestleMania. That's basically did I just sum it up right there? Perfectly?
And yeah, pretty much. And they threw Kofi in there as a replacement because Kozlov got hurt. Because Wade Barrett and also Barrett was the IC champion, and Gabriel and Slater were the tag champs. And so yeah, tell your story about the match itself, though.
Okay. Well, as soon as I heard the Corrs music hit, I think they came out first, right? Was it them that came out first, or was it the Babies?
Yep.
Okay. So the Corrs music hit's like, all right, I'm gonna make myself some popcorn.
Alright,
So I got up, I put the popcorn in there, pressed the popcorn button, I sit there and wait. I get the butter out. I'm gonna put butter on the freaking popcorn. And once the popcorn was done, I just hear the bell ring and Big Show's music hit. It's like, oh my god, the match is already over.
Exactly.
2.5 minutes.
Yeah, it was a joke. What's your story about this match, Steve?
The core match?
Yeah.
My story is alright, you want me to spawn in? Alright, my story is just it started and it ended very quickly. And the crowd was very angry at this. So what ended up happening was they must have gone to do a commercial or something or a backstage thing, but like once the match was over, everyone's just kind of looking around like, fucking kidding me? So what ends up happening is WrestleMania is one of those magical events where people will get drunk off their mind and they will literally try to charge the ring, except these are people seated like 8 rows back, not even close to the front, where they can just hop it, right? So what happens is, about a section of, let's say, 8 guys, right? They're all drunk off their mind, and we're all looking down at them, and they all just like, this sucks, the core should have won, let's get them. They all make a break for the ring, and 2 security guards by themselves start clocking the crap out of them. So, I'm looking at this with my grandpa because my brother and my dad had gotten up to go to the bathroom, and we're laughing our heads off, and apparently someone hadn't set up a camera right up at the top of the arena, because you know how they get those top of the arena
Yeah.
sometimes? So all we hear from the top is just dung dung dung. We look up, camera falls down. Everyone in the crowd starts screaming their head off, right? Because they're like, oh my gosh, someone's going to get hit. And believe it or not, lands right on top of one of the drunk guys.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not as funny now.
So,
Is he okay?
yeah, we're all worried off our head because I'm like, oh shit, someone just got killed. Great. Great WrestleMania. So, yeah, on top of everything that's already happening, we think someone's dead. And it turns out the camera missed him by like this much. Alright? Because it legit looked like it knocked him right off the head.
Yeah.
Because he went down too. So, I think it must have skimmed him or something, but for like 8 solid minutes, like people were just silent of like, did he get hurt or not? And then security during one of the breaks made an announcement being like, oh yeah, he's fine.
Okay. That's bad. But this match, so pretty much we didn't get to go into it. Big Show just knocks out Heath Slater for the win. It was a joke that the core was used like this. The core was something, at least something different.
It was a Nexus ripoff.
Pretty much. And, but I didn't mind the core. I thought they could have done something with it.
I'm trying to the first part, but all these taken out here just, I'm joining, yeah.
But then, they just jobbed him out here, and it's pretty much ended the core.
Up here just kept
And, it was just crap. So,
By the way, we gotta remember the greatest group of all time.
Just that one first part.
Apple.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
After this apple was formed. Remember that, Steve? After this apple was formed?
Ready?
was formed?
Ready?
Apple?
What
Apple.
was that again? Remind me?
It was like, let me think. I think it was Santino Morello, Mark Henry, Daniel Bryan, and somebody else.
Yeah,
Apple.
I remember that. That was,
Guys, look at my screen. Apple.
yes.
Wow. Next match. Well, that's not a match. The Rock and Eve Torres are backstage, who apparently she was the Divas champion and didn't have a match, so... But The Rock,
No, we need to get Snooki on the show.
The Rock talks about...
Screw the Divas division. We need Snooki.
Oh, yeah. So The Rock talks to Eve, and he said that the next person that comes through, that walks through this curtain, I'm going to give them an electrified, memorable moment. It's Mae Young. Hey, Mae Young wants some of the people's strudel. And The Rock's like, I think you should get, like, George Washington's strudel, or Adam and Eve's strudel. She pretty much makes jokes about how old she is. So then they go sit down. She smacks The Rock's ass, and then he makes a joke about how she was horny. And then he's like, why couldn't somebody else have walked through that curtain? And then the next person that walked through is Stone Cold Steve Austin, and they have a face-off. And it was awesome, just because literally 10 years ago, from this show, they had their WrestleMania 27 match, and then they had the retirement match. So they
Owen,
yes.
you might want to rephrase that for a second. 10 years ago, it's WrestleMania 17.
No, yeah, but it was 27 on this show, I'm saying.
I know, I said 10 years ago from there, and you said WrestleMania 27. That's
Oh,
disgusting.
I botched then. It's
Yeah, it's alright.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
But then, so they have a face-off, and they'll say, you're going to kick some ass tonight? And he's like, hell yeah. And it was really cool to see them face-to-face, because it was the first time we had seen them face-to-face, I think, since WrestleMania 19. So it was really cool to see them face-to-face. again for one last time. Well, not one last time. They had one more face-off, but. And then we get the next match. It's Randy Orton versus CM Punk. Another match that didn't belong on the WrestleMania card. I think this match is a pay-per-view quality, but it wasn't
I
WrestleMania.
think a second edition, they could probably put him in the Xbox edition.
It's probably not a WrestleMania quality match. So the match was happening because CM Punk had screwed Randy Orton at the Royal Rumble out of the WWE Championship, and he did this because Randy Punk was mad that 3 years ago. Randy Orton punted him in the head and cost him the World Heavyweight title, had to forfeit the belt. And Randy Orton pretty much was mad, so he said that he was going to wish that CM Punk's going to wish that he had kicked him a lot harder. So Randy Orton pretty much just like took out all the members of the new Nexus, just killed them, except for Punk. And then
he killed Mason Ryan.
Exactly.
He killed Bray Wyatt. Husky Harris.
Killed Matt.
He killed Curtis Michael McGillicuddy.
And then 1 week CM Punk to be smart. 1 week Randy Orton's now ex-wife, but his wife at the time was on Raw, and CM Punk was gonna act like he was gonna go visit her because she was in the tour bus. So then Randy Orton ran backstage. And CM Punk jumped him from behind with a monkey wrench into the leg that he uses to punt people with. And it was pretty much so Randy Orton couldn't punt people in the head. So the question was whether or not Randy Orton was going to have this match. And let's just be honest. I don't think they overcomplicated the storyline. The only reason I think they had to do this because they needed something for them to do at WrestleMania. So they threw him in a match and they just pulled out the reason for the CM Punk wanted to fight Orton out of their ass, pretty much. Because why would CM Punk wait 3 years to get his revenge? It doesn't make any sense.
No. There are situations where, you can wait a year or two to get revenge, like with The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar, but that was because, that was a huge deal. He ended the streak, and, if you're going to do a storyline, it's like, I've been plotting my revenge for a long time now, and here I come to get you.
Yeah.
It works. It makes sense.
The only reason they had to wait 3 years, too, because CM Punk, they were both went to, because this is when they had the brand splits, they were both on different brands, so they couldn't really fight each other. So they were finally on the same brand, but it was just because they needed a match for him at Mania. It's the only reason. And we get the match, and it really isn't a bad match. Like I said, it is pay-per-view quality.
It was good. It wasn't great. It was good.
Yeah. CM Punk targets the leg in this match. Throughout a good chunk of the match, he gets him in the figure four around the post. He drop kicks the steps into his leg, and Randy Orton can't really do many offensive moves because of the injured leg. And Randy Orton hits a angle slam in the match, which was pretty cool. And CM Punk gets Orton in the tree of woe position and hits a double stomp to his shoulders. Not the way Del Rio does it, though. The way it was a way better version of it. And then he gets him in the Intercontinental Vice.
Comes the party.
And then Orton was able to roll out of it because he couldn't use the bad leg to break out of it for the reason I just said.
Luckily, Iron Banner's not too hard for me right now because my love.
And then Randy Orton hits a superplex off the top rope. And then we get to the finish of the match, and the finish was absolutely stupid.
Because you gotta keep remembering, not all these guys are really even 320.
So Randy Orton goes for the punt, and he can't hit the punt because of his bad leg. So CM Punk knows this. He's happy about this, and CM Punk goes to attack him. Orton goes for an RKO, and you think he hits the move, but CM Punk was able to roll out of the ring, and CM Punk was happy about this. And this made CM Punk look really smart until he goes to hit a springboard dive, and Randy Orton hits an RKO and wins the match. I don't like this finish. One, because CM Punk should have gone over. CM Punk had every right to go over in this match because Orton had pretty much jobbed him out the whole feud. And CM Punk had lost the new Nexus. This was a way they could have reestablished Punk after he had been jobbed out prior to this because he had lost his hair, he had lost the SDS Society.
Thanks.
CM Punk was just jobbed out. This could have revitalized CM Punk's career.
And well, that happened on later on that year, but hey,
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
yeah.
The other reason
Right.
it's bad is CM Punk looked like an idiot. Because
Well, he's a heel. He's allowed to look like an idiot.
yeah, but I'm saying like he still goes off the top rope, knowing that if you watch a Randy Orton match, he can hit the top RKO in that position.
Well, to be fair, Ray Orton at that point had not done the RKO out of nowhere like that often, like that
Yeah.
spontaneous. And Punk was trying to hit the clothesline probably. He was probably gonna aim for the leg, but Orton was able to
Yeah.
realize it and got him the RKO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta understand, like, it was a situation where, Punk was the bad guy. He got cocky, he slipped up, he made a mistake.
Good point.
The
Yeah.
storytelling leading up to the match wasn't good, but the storytelling in the match was good.
Yep.
I'll call it this. This was probably a Raw main event.
Yeah, well, I mean,
It's something I was expect to see on an episode of Raw.
Yeah.
either that or like a Fastlane main event or like a
like a B pay-per-view main event or a Raw main event.
yeah. And it was just they didn't have anything for these guys to do, so threw them in a match for no reason.
Okay.
I think let me get the outlet. So then me and Gene Okerlund and The Rock are backstage, and me and Gene Okerlund tells The Rock that John Cena's biggest fan was here, and the biggest fan is Pee Wee Herman. And pretty much he gets The Rock.
You mean the drug addict that exposed himself in front of a bunch of people at a movie theater?
Pee Wee Herman jerked himself.
Exactly. So he jumped ship pretty much.
We're talking
it wasn't
about Pee Wee Herman being Cena's biggest fan.
It wasn't that funny. At all. And then we get the Hall of Fame class of that year.
Right.
If I can remember, it was Shawn Michaels who headlined the class.
He's actually in another movie.
The Road Warriors. Drew Carey.
Pee Wee Herman's, I'm sorry.
Wow.
Drew Carey.
Which we talked about what we thought about him being in the Hall of Fame. There was Abdullah the Butcher, who I heard sold his Hall of Fame win. And Road Warriors. I remember there was somebody else. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Bob Armstrong, I think his name was, and
Bob, yeah.
yeah.
Bob's awesome.
I think it's able to WrestleMania 20.
And I think that's everybody. I think
Mr.
it was they just do that segment every year. So yeah. Now we're gonna talk about the next match. So John, I'll let you take the next match because you have a huge problem.
Oh, man,
do you want me to talk about the backstory first, or do you want to?
Oh wait, is this the match I think it is?
I think so.
Is this Michael Cole versus Jerry the King Lawler?
I found that out that he got booed out of the building.
Yes. Do you want me to talk about the history first, or?
I will take the reins from this because I have a bone to pick with this match.
So you can talk about the build up and everything.
I know. I'm just gonna preface it by saying this: fans of the show who have watched me over the past couple of months realize that I don't get angry often. This is going to change. I'm not gonna yell. I ain't gonna yell. I'm not gonna yell like hysterically because it's 11 o'clock at night and my parents are sleeping right next door. So I'm gonna preface it by saying this. In my opinion, this is the worst WrestleMania match of all time.
Which one?
Cole versus Lawler.
The prior year with Hart versus Vince was probably a bit worse, I would say.
But
you gotta remember, I was there at both, and comparing both.
But at least Vince and Brett was not as long as this, and it didn't stretch it out for another 2 months.
It was longer because of all the chair shots Brett just kept doing and doing.
Okay.
Let's let Tut say why.
Yeah, I'm not gonna cut you off, Tut. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Yours. All right. So the whole preface of this match is that Michael Cole turned heel. Because let's see here, You know, I want to know what the WWE was thinking. Who needs to be our top heel in 2012? Michael fucking Cole. And he
So
was.
2011.
Well, 2011 to 2012, because that's that at that point that's who it was. And guess what? It worked. He was the most hated guy on the show. By far, he was the most hated guy on that show for all the wrong reasons. People hated him. And who is going to be our top baby? Who's going to be one of our top baby faces at this point? Jerry Lawler. Why? Jerry Lawler is 60 at this point. I think he was 62 at this point. And a guy who's never wrestled before. Whose bright idea was to make this a match? And plus, every week on Raw, building up to this. Thank God Raw was in 3 hours, because if it was, I probably would drive my head through a wall. Because they would banter and bicker all night long for 2 hours on Monday night. And that's also including the segment that dedicated the build up for their own match.
And even on the show, Michael Cole before the match mentions, "I'm gonna beat you, Lawler. I'm gonna beat you."
Yeah, it was so irritating and disgusting, and I hated every single moment of it. That's when I started listening to my wrestling shows on mute. So we get to this whole thing. In the marquee match, our marquee match is going to be Michael Cole versus Jerry Lawler. This was a grand total of 27 minutes. I timed it, 27. Including the entrances, the match itself, which lasted a long time, which it shouldn't have. Cole had to get the heat for some freaking reason. I don't get why. And then the ending segment with Stone Cold giving the stun everyone and doing the spin-a-rooney and all this dumb shit with the Raw GM giving Michael Cole the victory. Why? It should have been 2 minutes. Cole comes out and it's like he's all cocky and he's like smiling. The bell rings and he realizes, oh crap, I'm screwed. And then Lawler hits him in the gut, gives him a pile driver, pins him 1, 2, 3, match over and done with. Cole gets his comeuppance. Jerry Lawler gets his feel-good moment at WrestleMania. Match ends, move on to the next segment. And you know what? I would have been fine with it. But no, they had to stretch it out. They had the Cole win. And they had to move it on to Extreme Rules, which had a shitty match at Extreme Rules, and a Kiss My Foot match at Over the Limit. It lasted for 2 more months. It lasted a grand total from November to May. It lasted 6 months of hatred, and it all starts with that match. That's why I believe it's the worst match at WrestleMania ever. And it's nothing going to top it, in my opinion. That's it.
Steve?
Yeah. All right.
Okay, I'll go next.
All right, I got my thing going. So, here's my thing about this match. Okay. I did not like the match. I'm not gonna argue that was a good match. I'm not gonna argue that it was anything more than a shit show. I'll tell you right now that the saving grace was Stone Cold because, I mean, try telling me Stone Cold can't be saving grace in anything.
It's Stone Cold. It's Stone Cold. But Stone Cold's also in the Brock Lesnar Goldberg match. Everyone agrees that's garbage.
You know, Stone Cold can do anything. He'll get cheered. I mean, you know, I'm gonna make a weird comparison. I saw Donald Trump come out a few weeks ago and say he could shoot someone and still get cheered. Stone Cold could shoot someone, he'd still get cheered. All right, let's be real.
He beat his wife and he still gets cheered right now. He's
All right, yeah, but
at WrestleMania 17, he could have raped the Rock's entire family. He still would have been cheered.
Yeah, here's what I will say is that the build-up, though, let's take away the wrestling part of this. Let's make it all storyline and mic work. I think Jerry Lawler and Michael Cole did a really good job building up their storyline because, you know, they're like, all right, let's make Michael Cole the heel announcer. You know, they just gotten off of the whole JR and King being all goody-goody, both good guy announcers. They're like, all right, let's bring back the heel announcer, but let's make it Cole. It's like, all right. And someone had a crazy idea. It was like, let's take it one step further and let's have him really get involved in this. And they did, and it worked. I mean, you really hated Cole for what he did because, Miz was, he was what he was. And when King had that shot to win the belt, everyone was thinking, holy shit, Jerry the King Lawler is going to be WWE Champion. And for Cole to take that away from him, it put a lot of heat on him, but it was good storytelling. And, this would have gone down as one of the better, non-wrestler feuds, real talkative feuds, culminating in a match at WrestleMania. Had it ended at WrestleMania and, been just a beatdown, by Jerry Lawler, what they should have done, the way I would have done it, is I would have had it build up like when Shane was training Vince. Instead, have Swagger training Cole. Be like, I hate Lawler, doing pull-ups.
Yeah.
And, the big match comes, and I really hoped Cole would have gotten in better shape because he looked awful for the match.
And they always joke about this, too.
And, you make fat jokes about Kevin Owens, make fat jokes about Michael Cole. At least Kevin Owens has reasonable muscle.
Yeah. And then, but yeah, my thoughts on the match are probably really the same.
Yeah.
It's like, and Booker T and Jim Ross came out to do commentary for the match because obviously they couldn't have Josh Matthews. I mean, he probably would have been done fine by himself, but it was cool to see them on the show. And it should I mean, the build-up wasn't bad or anything. I definitely think but it just felt like it's overshadowed, like Tut said, it overshadowed everything. They always bickered about it, and then this should have been the culmination. But Lawler originally won by the ankle lock, which made complete sense, and Stone Cold Steve Austin I thought was great in the match by just letting them do whatever they wanted. And when Jack Swagger threw the towel and he just wipes himself off afterwards, I thought was hilarious. Then afterwards, when Josh Matthews, afterwards Booker T comes in and does the spin of Rooney, and everyone didn't really care for it because the crowd was kind of silent. And Stone Cold stuns Booker T, and then when then the DQ finished with the Anonymous Raw GM, because that's when the Anonymous Raw GM buzzed in on the laptop at the time, which was the most annoying thing ever. And then
damn Hornswoggle.
And then Josh Matthews gets stunned, and so then for the rest of the night, Lawler and Jim Ross are on commentary, which I thought was really nice to see them on commentary again. But yeah, the match was just a joke. It should have been a squash, and should have just culminated the feud. If he had done that.
And like Tut said, it went on for 2 more months. No, that should have been it.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, you could have had it go on and they don't like each other, but, the intense screaming at each other every week would be done with.
Yeah.
They'd be on good terms where they're not going to kill each other anymore.
The segment you did, and then right afterwards, Michael Cole comes out, does the same thing, apologizes like he did when they blew off the match in May. You just push it 2 months earlier.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So then it shows Access. I don't know if you went to it that week, but
I went to Access the following year. That's a story for another day, though.
When we review 28, we'll talk about it.
Have you guys done 26 review?
No.
We could do that. That was a fun WrestleMania to.
We're doing
24.
Well, you'll have your pick. It's my pick this time.
Yeah, because I picked one. I picked one. James picked one, and technically James got 2 in a row because he picked this one. So. So we get the next match. This is the match of the night, and probably the best built-up match, even though there wasn't much of a build-up. It was Undertaker versus Triple H in a no-holds-barred match. They had a match 10 years ago prior to this event at 17, which they don't like to talk about for some reason.
That's the best one. That's one of the. It's better. It's that 17 match is better than this one.
Yeah. And then the Undertaker.
I don't know about that, Todd. I really thought this was one of Undertaker's best WrestleMania matches, to be honest.
Well, let's get to so pretty much somebody was going to return. Someone was returning. They had vignettes. Everyone thought it was going to be Stin, but it wasn't Stin because he went back to TNA. So they got
Same
Stin.
exact promo package, by the way. Just changed the numbers.
Yeah. So I think it was supposed to be Stin, but then he changed his mind.
Didn't Sting go back for that little Jeff Hardy incident?
Yeah.
So then, yeah. So then the Undertaker returned, and Triple H.
As fuck during his match with Sting, and Sting beat him in 3 seconds or like 10.
Yeah. So then the Undertaker returned, and then Triple H returned. They had a face-off. They had a match at WrestleMania. First, Undertaker kind of like laughs about it, walks away, and then they look at each other. He does his signal, and then Triple H does his, and then they have the match at WrestleMania, and then Triple H says that he's done everything in his career. He got this heartfelt promo saying he's done everything in his career, but the one thing he hasn't do is beat the streak, and if he can't do it, he's gonna die trying. And then the Undertaker wants it to be a no-holds-barred match. So then Triple H says thank you, and then the final segment on Raw they do is when Shawn Michaels comes out, and Triple H tells Shawn, tell him why I'm gonna beat him at WrestleMania. But then Shawn Michaels leaves the ring set like he can't do it. And they do something with that a year later. But the match itself was a really good match. Triple H has his big entrance with all the guys coming out.
I love this entrance. Can I tell the story?
Yeah, go ahead. Tell the story about his entrance.
Alright, yeah. I'm on the PlayStation Network with my buddy right now, so he's going to listen on this too if he wants to hear it. So I remember, right, we're all sitting around, everyone this match was the match of the night, and it was going to be no matter what. Everyone in the arena was freaking pumped for this. I remember my brother was going nuts. He was begging for Triple H to actually beat The Undertaker this time. I was rooting for Taker to beat Triple H. Everyone had an opinion. Everyone was just waiting for this. Everyone was getting loud and crazy about it. So, comes time for the match to start, and we hear the gong go off, and we're all assuming, oh, here comes Undertaker. But then it turns out it's Metallica's For Whom the Bell Tolls playing. And me personally, I'm thinking, ooh, cool, Zombieland. I love that movie. So,
yeah.
The music's playing, and then we all realize, oh shit, this isn't Undertaker. This is gonna be Triple H because it's Metallica. So, it's playing, lights go out, and you see all these soldiers pop up on stage, and the crowd's going freaking nuts during this entrance. So, crowd's going crazy, and out comes Triple H standing in his soldier attire, and the whole entrance was probably Triple H's best WrestleMania entrance of all time, hands down, no questions asked.
I'd say that, yeah. And then the Undertaker just makes his regular entrance. He doesn't, and on the network they don't, but he comes out with the Ain't No Grave theme song. And then
he came out to Ain't No Grave at 27.
No, I'm saying if you watch it on the network, it cuts that entrance out. I'm saying.
He doesn't come out to that.
Yeah, it's just his regular theme.
He came out to Johnny Cash's Ain't No Grave, and
guys.
Yeah, what's up?
I had to get going because it's 11:30 and I have to get up early tomorrow morning. So.
Alright.
So I already gave you my pick for next week for the next retro review series, which is going to be 24.
Okay, we'll try to do it earlier next time.
Yeah.
The 24, I can tell you how my buddy Mark somehow predicted that Matt Hardy was going to return.
And you did.
And we'll talk about it when we get there.
I still don't know how you did it.
Yep. All right. So I'll give my just quick review. Let me just give my like a
nope, not happening. What happens?
quick example.
Boom, twist of fate.
I'm gonna just give my quick ending thoughts.
Yeah,
okay.
You lost it once, Katie.
Okay, so I think this was an absolute crap card.
What did you think of the main event, John?
You mean the advertisement for Rock versus Cena?
What, Cena and
The problem was Miz got a concussion too, like about 5 minutes in, and it just went downhill.
Yeah.
Come on, give the Miz some credit. He
I
was
give
a
him
breakout
credit.
star. He was.
I give him credit, but he tried his best, the best he can do, but he was just a prop. He was a prop.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate for him. Okay, but major cons in this whole thing.
I mean,
Too many
at the same time,
too many comedy segments. It was
he
like
did a
so
decent match. He kicked out of the AA.
so Mania, and it had in my opinion
Yeah.
the worst WrestleMania match in my opinion.
The Rock had to carry his ass through the match just based on his height, which is impressive, but
And then they had I think the Triple H match between him and Undertaker is overrated. Don't get me wrong, I like the match, but I don't love it as much as other people do because I think it's surrounded by a crap card. And I think there's 17. I think, my personal opinion, I think the 17 match is better, and I think that the 28 match is better.
I agree with John, but I do like the match, but I think the other matches are better.
Yeah.
And
this Mania is one of the worst. It's not the worst, in my opinion. That honor goes to WrestleMania 11. I think it's in the bottom 5 though.
Yeah, we'll talk about when we get to that point.
All right. So remind me. So what's the order of people picking WrestleMania reviews?
It's my turn now, and then it'll be you, and then it goes back to Owen, and I think we should we skip over James because he did 2 times, or?
Yes.
What we could do is, if we want to see if he's up for it, we can talk to Jaren about maybe doing it. If he doesn't want to do it, then that'll be that. But
and then we should do one if Chris wants to do that, but it's tough for him to do it off a hangout, so we'd have to do it on campus if we.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that. So yeah, John. Well, the next one's gonna be WrestleMania 24.
All
Yep,
right.
the first WrestleMania that I personally saw. So.
And then we have to make a date where we can come back and talk about our past Superstar of the Week because we're not going to be able to fit it in this episode.
Hell no. All right.
So we'll talk about that tomorrow. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Wait, are you staying too, Steve?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay for a little while more.
Okay, I thought we don't have
Until the
enough.
end.
We only have like 3 more matches to talk about. So.
Yeah.
All right. So then we get this match. I'll just talk about it. So the match starts off, it's a physical match. They just start beating the hell out of each other. Taker tosses Triple H out of the ring, throws him into the steps, and he's just about to put him through the announcer's table. And Triple H tackles the Undertaker into the coal mine. Because we didn't say this, but Michael Cole had a...
That was absolutely amazing when he tackled him through the coal mine.
Yeah.
Because I remember... when Cole was screaming, you could hear him. He was yelling his lungs out all across the arena.
Not Cole, because Cole wasn't there.
No, wait, it wasn't Cole. Someone was screaming their ass off down in the announcer's booth. And then
I expected Lawler to be happy about it. Maybe it was Lawler.
Might have been, yeah.
And Lawler at this point too is wearing a Stone Cold T-shirt because he had to take his tuxedo off because he was just in a match. So then the Undertaker sits back up, gets back in the ring. They continue the match. Taker hits a flying clothesline, and then Triple H clotheslines him out of the ring, tosses him right into the barricade, which looked like that hurt because he just tosses him right into it. And then Triple H goes for the pedigree through the announcer's table, the English one, and Taker counters. He goes for a tombstone. No, he didn't. Taker counters a backdrop off the table, and then Taker goes to chokeslam him through the Spanish announce table, but off the steps. But Triple H fights out of it. Taker goes to charge at him. He spine busters him through the Spanish announcer's table. So then they get back in the ring, and from out of nowhere, Undertaker hits a choke slam. Triple H kicks out. Triple H hits a high knee and dominates the Undertaker. And then Taker hits a last ride. Triple H kicks out of that. Triple H hits a pedigree, which the Undertaker kicks out of it. He grabs a chair, but the Undertaker is able to hit a big boot And then he hits Triple H off the back with the chair. And then he hits the tombstone on him, and Triple H kicks out of that. And then Triple H hits 2 pedigrees. Taker kicks out of both of them, a DDT on the chair. And then after this, Triple H just murders The Undertaker. He hits him in the back with the chair a ton of times. Hits him off the head with the chair, which I heard he got fined for that because, now you can't hit people off the head with the chair. But I think Triple H probably didn't really care because he probably has all the money in the world. So,
Yeah.
And then Taker keeps getting up, and Triple H tells him to stay down. But Taker won't stay down, and because that's how much the streak means to him. So then Taker grabs him by the throat, but Taker, I guess, is so worn out that it's not. He doesn't have a full grasp on him. So Triple H is just, like, no, this doesn't hurt. Pushes The Undertaker into the corner, does his pose. Taker goes for a right hand. Triple H ducks. Triple H hits the tombstone, and I thought that was going to be the match at the time when I had seen it. But
when he hit that tombstone, the whole crowd was just like dead silent. Like, did he just hit him with the tombstone? Did he really just do that? And we were all thinking that's it. He gets hit with the tombstone, his own move. That's got to be it.
But nope, kicked out of it, and then then Triple H pulls out a sledgehammer, and he's just gonna end The Undertaker.
Yep.
And then The Undertaker gets him in the Hell's Gate, and Triple H drops the hammer. But then he picks the hammer back up, but he just can't he's too weak to hit him with it. So he lets go of the hammer, and you see Triple H just slowly faded, and Triple H taps out, and Undertaker goes over in the match. But Triple H is able to walk out, and he looks at Undertaker like he has respect for him for still being able to win the match. And then The Undertaker can't walk out. The Undertaker has to be stretched out, but they don't bring out like the stretcher like you normally say. They have to bring out this truck, and he rides in the bed of the truck.
Yep. He got carted out. No, I remember that. And, I'll give my brother credit. He saw that this meant there was going to be a rematch the following year.
I totally saw it too.
I didn't see it. I thought, maybe this is it for Undertaker. I thought that's what it meant. Maybe he's done.
Yeah, because this was the first time he had to be helped out of a match. Never had to be helped out. Always walked out.
Yeah.
And Triple H said at the next night on Raw that he won the battle, but when you come back, Undertaker, I will be waiting. And this set up the match for next year. And this match was great storytelling, just because Undertaker was willing to go through this hell for the streak, which I thought was awesome. And this made the streak look so prestigious, and it's a great match.
It's like this. Unlike Star Wars, the prequels, they actually got the first part right.
Yep. So there you go. So then we get the next match, which is pretty much a crappy match. It's Lay Cool, which is Michelle McCool and Layla, and Dolph Ziggler with Vicky Guerrero inside versus John Morrison, Trish Stratus, and Snooki. This was pretty much the Divas match on the show because they are the only ones that are legal in the match. It's just
I remember that match. Yep.
It's not that good.
It's not awful. I mean,
Trish Stratus wrestled in the match, and it was cool to see Trish Stratus and Michelle McCool, because Michelle McCool was probably the biggest woman in the Divas division at the time, because
we're talking about the Snooki match.
And it's just bad, but I'm just kind of mad because
Snooki actually did pretty well.
John Morrison was being pushed to the WWE Championship picture. And then Dolph Ziggler kind of was being pushed to that direction, to the World Heavyweight Championship picture. And this is the match that they had to have at WrestleMania. I kind of wish they could have found a different match for them. And they just did the tag team match with Trish Stratus and Snooki versus Lay Cool. Maybe just do it.
I remember that match was really, it was interesting. Obviously the biggest reaction came from Trish Stratus finally being back in the ring because...
Yep.
Well, I think that really explains itself. It's Trish Stratus. What do you want me to say?
Yeah. So
But then when Snooki got the biggest heat.
she got booed.
Late Cool got booed, believe me, but Snooki got it a lot worse because it was like, oh, you're a celebrity, you can't wrestle. But when she got tagged in and she started doing a bunch of athletic moves like the back handspring elbow, that was pretty entertaining. She started getting cheered. She got cheered out afterwards because she put on a pretty decent match performance. I mean,
I think when I saw the match at the time, I was still kind of in shock of what the Undertaker Triple H match was. So.
Oh no, yeah, it was definitely a calm down from this, so you can get focused for the Cena Miz match type of ordeal.
Yeah. We'll talk about that match next. We have Cena versus Miz for the WWE Championship, with Miz going in as the champion.
Yeah, I just want to say this. Normally, those matches kind of work with a cool down match.
Yeah.
Like when you do like a big streak match before the main event.
So don't ever have. So pretty much anytime you have the streak, they always have the cool down match. So.
Yes, and that worked. Every WrestleMania I went to but one. Can you guess which one it didn't work for?
30.
Yep. Did not work for 30.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that.
All you gotta know, screaming and screaming and screaming and crying and whining and fighting and screaming.
So it does work. It did its job. The match did its job.
Well, let's get to the main event.
So the reason the match was happening was because Miz had cashed in his contract to win the WWE title. He was the Money in the Bank winner, and they really pushed Miz really hard at this time. He was James. What the hell?
What?
James is here really late.
My buddy James just popped in randomly because we're doing the Google Hangout thing.
Oh my gosh!
At least we won.
I thought he said he wasn't doing it. James, hello. I feel so bad. We might have to continue this.
Oh, yep, he's there.
I thought you said you weren't doing it.
Motherfuckers, how you doing?
I thought you said you weren't doing this.
Well, I wasn't, because I was talking to Marissa, but I figured I just kind of come on here randomly and just kind of make pterodactyl noises.
You want to talk about John Cena versus The Miz at all?
You're really late, right? You were on the main event, dude.
Okay, well, still, yeah.
Okay, James.
Okay.
So let's see. Now,
James, you can have your general thoughts on the show, if you remember the code and stuff.
Now, Owen, if you don't mind, when we're talking about this, you think I can probably run through the match? Because I actually remember this match quite vividly in my head.
Okay. I'll go over the backstory, but let's have James' thoughts on the show up to this point. So, do you remember the code off the top of your head? Do I need to tell you each match?
Here is all I have to say about this card. It's WrestleMania 27, right?
Yes. Yes.
I would rather have backs off than to deal with this diarrhea for a month than to watch this pile of shit for 3 hours. As for the oh my goodness, Undertaker and Triple H, as per usual. Now, as far as everything else, it was average to suck, and the main event was fucking atrocious, and the ending was -5 stars! And on that note, bye.
Bye, James. Okay. So now we talk about the
back. I'm gonna leave right now.
This is stupid.
Alright.
But anyhow,
are you listening in off the microphone, or are you watching this on YouTube? Yeah.
Okay, so the reason this match was happening was Miz had cashed in his contract to become the WWE.
On the mic.
the WWE Championship, and the Miz.
Yeah, you could. If you want to pop in and bug the shit out of us.
And they were building up this match with Cena versus Miz in the main event for a couple of months. John Cena had won a #1 Contenders Elimination Chamber match to earn a shot at the WWE Championship. And pretty much The Rock had come in, and The Rock was talking crap to John Cena. He was calling him a fruity pebble wearing fool. So they pretty much were just building up to the John Cena Rock match, and this match was just to build up the match with Cena and Rock, which made no sense. I guess it was long-term planning, but you were building up a match that that you were using Miz pretty much as a plot device to build up Cena versus Rock. Miz got overshadowed here, and it was stupid. So then Miz would attack Cena week after week after week. I still think it's funny when he came out dressed as The Rock that one week. I thought that was I thought that was awesome. And then so then eventually Cena had laid out The Rock with an AA on Raw. The reason why I say that is that it's going to be important later on in this match. So Steve's going to talk about the match because he wants to. So the entrance. Are you going to talk about the entrances too? Because
yeah, I'm going to run down the entrances. I think they're always a very important part of the match. Just build the final. It's the final build-up, you know.
Yeah.
So, I remember this was the debut of Cena's red shirt, which I found out a few hours prior because, you know, everyone was wearing them, obviously.
Yep.
So, they had,
actually, a story I have too is I wanted to dress up and match Cena, so I was dressed up in all purple, and he fucking came out in red, and I was fucking pissed.
Oh, that's awesome.
You should have.
Oh man.
I was so mad. I like fucking slammed my shirt, and I was already kind of starting to hate on Cena. I just didn't. I had bought the stuff when I was still kind of a Cena fan. So after this, I kind of didn't become a Cena fan.
Well, all right. So I remember. Owen would need to send you the link, but we're about to finish up anyway, so maybe next time, all right, man? All right, yeah, so, Owen, I remember, right? So, let's see. I believe Miz comes out to the Awesome logo with all the pop-ups and stuff.
And they go through, like, his entire career in, like, a video with him, like, watching it, which was really cool.
Yeah, no, the WrestleMania 27 final match promo video with The Miz was actually really well done, and I thought it really made people take The Miz seriously for that one match, for that one moment.
Yep.
You know, that video was a very good. I put it up there with maybe, you know, Tut said he ranked this lowest 5 WrestleManias. I'd say I ranked that video top 5 main event promo for WrestleManias. It was really well done.
Yeah.
I remember the whole crowd liked it. The music was perfect. So, Miz comes out with the awesome letters, and, you know, not to be cliche, but the entrance was awesome. It was incredible. I loved it. You know, Alex Riley was out there with them.
So technically you could say Alex Riley's main event in WrestleMania because he was out there with The Miz.
Cena got Sister Act to sing his theme song, which I thought was pretty funny.
It didn't really kind of fit his theme in a way, but
yeah.
And I remember too they played that video package, like with like a quote from somebody saying that I don't know if you remember this part, but when he's saying that do you remember it? Like they played a video package for him as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I do remember. So yeah, Cena comes out with the choir and he runs out with the red shirt. You're apparently pissed off because you didn't know it was going to be red.
At least I wasn't at the show, I guess, with all purple. So
yeah. So he comes out and you know they do the introductions and the match starts. Now you're the one with the notes of how the match went. So if you want to give the rundown now,
I just saw it off the top of my head, but I just saw
I can review the ending after the ending.
Okay.
Actually, I can review the whole ending. I remember it perfectly.
Okay, so the Miz and Cena have their match, and it's a back and forth match. I don't know if it was main event or WrestleMania quality. I definitely think
I thought it was main event at WrestleMania quality. It was a good match, really. Not
it wasn't a bad match, but not a great match. And it was really and there was something cool for the
true.
Miz because he went from being reality TV star to being in the main event of WrestleMania. And sometimes the Miz and it is hit or miss with me. Sometimes I like him, but sometimes I hate him. I would say this night I definitely thought he didn't do that bad. I think I think what sucks about it was he just was overshadowed.
I think that well, my buddy Mark just pointed out a good point, saying that Cena can really make anyone look good, and that's true for the fact that towards the end when Cena finally hits the AA, Miz kicks out.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
like,
when they got good.
most guys in Miz's league would get hit by that and they'd be done. Like everyone thought Miz was just the mid Carter who made it, but
Yeah,
he got hit
and
by
then
the AA, and it was like the leaping AA too, when he jumps up and he tosses you. It was like it literally looked like the perfect AA. It wasn't like he held on to him. He jumped up. Miz did a perfect curve into the mat and kicked out. It's like
and then
Undertaker hits you with the leaping tombstone. This one's more vicious, it looks like, and Miz kicked out. It was pretty cool.
yeah, and then left takes a bump, so then Alex Riley hits Cena off the head with a briefcase, and Miz kicks out of it. Miz hits it. I love that DDT that he hits, which if you've seen a Miz match, where the guy's on his knees and he hits the DDT, and Miz goes to hit him with the briefcase when Riley has the referee distracted, but he accidentally hits Riley. And then they fight on the outside. Cena clotheslines him into the timekeeper's area. Miz is just going to walk out of the match and leave, but then Cena tackles Miz off the barricade into the crowd, which I think that's how he got his concussion, I believe.
That ended the match.
And then you talk about the ending.
And all right, sorry. Here's another pitch perfect reminder or like memory. So, match ends, and to my surprise, I would have thought like everyone knew The Rock was coming out, but the arena actually started emptying out pretty quick. People weren't happy about that ending, so everyone's starting to leave, and I look around to all the people sitting in my section, and I just go, "You guys know The Rock's coming out, right?" And everyone's like, "Nah, no way he's coming out." I'm like, "You serious?" Like, I'm 13 at the time, and I'm like, "All right, you guys are 18-year-old smarks, probably. You should know this. Are you telling me that I'm gonna get the if you smell Rock comes out?" And like a stampede, everyone rushes back in. They're like, "Oh crap, here comes The Rock!" And in 2 seconds, my dad just goes, "He's gonna rock bottom Cena. Just watch." I'm like, "Nah." And guess what he did?
Well, yeah, because the anonymous Raw general manager had piped in. Rock was going to lead it, and he's like, "I have an announcement to the Raw general manager. As general manager, I think." Then the Rock's like, "It doesn't matter what you think." Tosses the laptop, and he says that I'm the host of WrestleMania, and I say that we're not going to end it like this. It's going to be no disqualifications and no time limits. So then literally like 2 seconds later, Cena goes for the AA on Miz. He turns around for some reason and gets rock bottom by the Rock. Miz covers him, gets the win. Holds up his belt up in the air, and this was when he had debuted the Miz belt, as you want to call it, when he flipped it to an M. And then and then he has a face off with Rock. Rock gets in the ring, hits him with a spine buster and people's elbow, and celebrates afterwards. So pretty much this launched off for The Rock and Cena to have their match at WrestleMania 28, and that's why I don't like this main event in a way, because this really Miz they made it in a way it was just to build up the next main event, but I did think the match isn't bad, and but yeah, overall WrestleMania. What do you think of this WrestleMania? Obviously, you have a different little bit of a.
I'm trying my best really to because I try my best not to give it too much credit because I was there. So, But, you know, looking back on it, it wasn't awful. It wasn't an awful WrestleMania. It wasn't the worst WrestleMania of all time. Like, I think good question. But you know, at the end of the day, I have to say, all the undercard matches were crap, honestly. And it was disappointing that Edge's last match couldn't be better. But you know what? The guy was hurt, so I'm happy that he got his last match at WrestleMania and walked out champion. So you know, not a lot of guys can retire that way. So you know what? It's okay. Like, don't worry. And I just think it's bad. It's a disappointment that people don't give The Miz enough credit for how well of a performance he actually put on during the main event. Because, you know, I think the only real thing Cena had to do was hit him with an AA and have him kick out. Other than that, I think Miz really held his own.
Yeah. I definitely think he did hold his own. My thoughts on the show, it just really isn't that good of a WrestleMania. A lot of the matches felt like matches you would see either on Raw or like on B pay-per-views. A lot of too many comedy segments, like John pointed out earlier. I didn't think it really flowed that well. And I think there was a lot of points where the crowd was pretty dead. But then, as you said, Steve, with the fact that the camera fell, maybe they had every right to be pretty dead. The only really match that's really WrestleMania quality really is probably Taker versus Triple H. And that's obviously the best match of the show. But you have the main event was just not real.
Good. I'm finishing up the Master Wrestling Corner, Retro Wrestling Review Corner, right?
Series,
yeah. Because my bro just joined the chat room I'm in on PSN right now.
Okay.
Yeah, you can finish, Owen.
So overall, not really that good of a WrestleMania. The fact that they kicked Bryan and Sheamus to the dark match was a joke.
Hey, they got their rematch next year, right?
Yeah. Well, they got it the next night too.
Hey, Chris, Daniel Bryan and Sheamus got their rematch at WrestleMania 28.
But just overall, not that good of a WrestleMania. But we don't know if it's the worst yet. But that's pretty much it. So if I had to rate the show, I probably would rate it a 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10. I would give WrestleMania 27 a 6.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then that's gonna be it. So this is like pretty much part 1 of the episode. The next episode, we're gonna review. We're gonna do our past superstar of the week, and we're gonna review Edge's best matches. One thing that is significant that I didn't say, like I said, it's Edge's last match, which also makes it a significant WrestleMania. But we're gonna review Edge's best matches because we didn't.
Going to any missions. Oh yeah, we can go to Tower.
But yeah, we're gonna review Edge's best matches on the next episode, and then the next review for the past pay-per-view is going to be WrestleMania 24, which I hope you guys all tune in for that. And that's pretty much it, guys. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And that's pretty much it, guys. Do you have anything you want to plug, actually, before?
Yeah, just a second, Chris. What's the name of your Twitch stream? Coach388. All right, so this is the only plug I'm going to do for now is my bro has a Twitch stream. He Twitch streams Destiny. I might do it sometime with him. Depends. But his stream is Coach388. Watch him sometime. He's a good player. Fun to watch. So do that. Yeah.
Yep. And we'll see you guys on the next episode when we talk about Edge's best matches in the WWE, which I post on the Facebook page which match we're gonna do for which matches we're doing. So that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.